So we've been doing these response videos to the series Rooted we've been going through. And so I'm thinking back on Stephen's sermon from Sunday about being rooted in community and how powerful that is right now for us to think about community. Because community looked a little different, 48, 49 days ago than it does right now. But the power of community is still there. We feel it. We know, maybe even more now than we ever have, the power of community. But one of the things that really hit me about what Stephen was saying and bringing to light from the text was the realness, the authentic, and really vulnerable way that the early church was going about community. I mean, being willing to admit that you need help so that others sell their things to help you out. That is being about as real and as authentic as I can think of. And it got me thinking about the way we, maybe over the last couple of years, in our culture have defined community and made community. And I guess I'm especially thinking about online community. I think it's a really powerful thing, and it's a great thing. Technology is. It's kept us together through this. The Zoom and meetings and different ways we use technology have kept us together. But maybe it's really good right now because we're actually using it to be real, to be vulnerable, to be authentic. So what happens when all this is over? Do we go back to how it was before? Because I'll be honest, there have been days that haven't been great for me. But you wouldn't be able to tell that from my Instagram page. You would have thought I had the best day of my life. You would have thought that everything went perfect, that we didn't get lost on that way to the event. We didn't get, we didn't get in a fight, or my kids weren't driving me crazy in that moment, or I wasn't driving my kids crazy in that moment. Because that picture that I put up, that I allowed you to see, seems perfect. And I just wonder if maybe we're pushing towards more of a real authentic, being real about how we're feeling on using social media, using our online presence, using the Facebook posts. If we're being real about what's going on, instead of just trying to make everything look like it's great. Because what I see from the early church is that community was so powerful, but the reason that community was so powerful was because Jesus was at the center of it. Jesus was at the center of that community. I can remember one of the really powerful moments of my life. I worked at a children's home called Eagle Ranch. And I remember being there, we had a meeting, and Eddie Staub, the director, he founded Eagle Ranch, came in and did a meeting, and he told us he said this thing, and at the time it hit, but as I lived in that community longer and longer at Eagle Ranch, it really became more and more clear. He said, I know that a lot of you came here because you want to help these boys and these girls, but I'm telling you that God brought you here for you. And it was so true. I came with the intention of helping some guys find the Lord, find a way to get to work within their families and all those things. But really, God brought me there for me. I learned so much through those guys. And so the community there had to be real, had to be honest, had to be vulnerable. And so maybe during this time, you've had to get real. You've had to get vulnerable. You've had to ask for help. You've had to find someone to go get groceries for you. But it's a beautiful thing. So my prayer is that we will continue this after all this is over, because it's going to end. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it's going to end. But how will you approach community after all this? Are we going to put Jesus at the center, as we always should? But are we also going to be willing to be vulnerable and real and honest with each other, so that the community that we build is stronger than it's ever been. And that we can post those pictures on Instagram, on Facebook, and whatever that are great. But we can also post the struggles and be okay with that because we have a community that knows us and knows the real us. So that's my prayer for you. I hope this maybe helps you. And I know it's helping me think about it. Think about being rooted in community. So, hey, let's be community to each other until that day we can all gather back again and we'll be even stronger for it. All right.